Good afternoon, Abraham.
We are pleased to co-create with you upon this rather important topic of dollars and abundance. The subject of dollars, for those of you who are focused here in your physical experience and in your specific culture or society, is synonymous with the subject of freedom in many cases. We are happy to unravel some of the confusion about this topic, and we are, as you are, aware of the extreme importance that it plays in the lives of so many. As we are working with our physical friends in this time and place, we are hearing from many of them dissatisfaction about their current place of standing relative to this subject of dollars. It seems that almost all are in a place of having fewer dollars than they are wanting, and therefore are in a place of experiencing less freedom than they really are wanting. And so it is our intent, as we are offering the words here, to help those who are wanting a clearer, more open avenue for the flowing of dollars into their experience, to discover it. For it really is not a difficult thing. Everyone is living exactly the balance of thought that they are offering. And so it is really this simple. If there are fewer dollars in your experience than you are wanting, or in clearer terms we would say, if you are experiencing more the lack of dollars than you are the abundance of dollars, then that is a signal to you that the balance of your thought regarding the subject of dollars is slanted toward the lack more than toward the having. We'll begin by saying that every subject is really not just one subject, but two. Someone said to us recently regarding the topic of dollars, Abraham, there must be something that you are leaving out of this recipe, because you say that I can have anything that I am wanting, and that if I will just focus upon what I want, then it will be mine. And I have wanted dollars for as long as I can remember, and they keep not coming to me. And we say, friend, it is not one subject, but two. There is the subject of dollars and the subject of lack of dollars. And what you have been offering your thought toward is the subject of the lack of dollars. When you move through your day, what is the balance of thought that you are offering? What is the most common thought that you offer regarding this subject of dollars? How often do you say, oh, that is a very beautiful thing, but I cannot afford it? Or, oh, I would very much like to do that, or be there, or have that, but I cannot afford it. What is the offering of thought in your experience regarding the subject of dollars? There are two ways for you to acknowledge that. One is pay attention to what you're thinking and speaking, and to the way that you're feeling about it. If you're feeling negative emotion as you think or speak or act, then you are upon the negative side or the lack side of something you want. And the other way of knowing what the balance of your thought is regarding the subject of dollars is by looking at your life experience. If you have all of the dollars that you're wanting, then the balance of your thought regarding dollars is in harmony with that. And if you have not enough dollars, if you're feeling lack about dollars, then the balance of your thought is upon that side of the equation.
But dollars, again, is relatively the least part of it. It's more about abundance. I was telling yesterday the other day, I woke up with the awareness that since my childhood, we've really been fighting crime. And so as a result, there's so much more of it than when I was a kid. I mean, the jails, they even had to let folks out early these days because they don't have room for them at all. And we've been fighting illness. And the result of that, I see hospitals and I see sick people, and I just see, I've never seen such physical suffering in this nation percentage-wise in my lifetime as I do right today. In other words, we've been talking about peace and having a world peace, and it seems like only practically weeks ago that everyone was raving of how isn't it wonderful that the walls come down and we're finally in peace, and we didn't take 4 breaths till we're back in war again. I see so much concern for child abuse and mistreating of other people, and the more I see the concern, the more child abuse I see. In other words,
it does not surprise you, does it?
Well, it seems like nothing's working. It seems like everything anybody's trying to do is not working, except...
When you go about it backwards, that is what you create. In other words, give your attention to the tar baby and you get stuck in it.
But you'd think in a nation of like 200 million people or so, or more than that we have here, that somebody would have figured that out after all, like 200 years, and be a leader.
It seems logical.
Doesn't it? Okay, now where I was headed with that was, but the area where we seem to continue to go the other way is in the area of abundance. I see the United States as, to me, the most materially abundant country. I don't know of any more so at any rate. We have so much that we're able to give to the world over of food and of dollars. But in spite of that, and I see that as a difference from the time I was a child, I do see more material things in the hands of the people than during my early years, which was during the Depression. But nevertheless, there have been some major changes positive there. But what I'm seeing in that area, and that's where I guess kind of I headline this, is I do see people, though, as they're moving forward to get the freedom that the dollars or the abundance will bring them, that so many people are losing their personal freedom in a trade-off for those dollars.
And are they getting the dollars?
Well, they seem to be. There seem to be a lot of dollars going on, one way or the other, either on welfare. I mean, I don't see anybody without dollars unless they just really choose to get away from it.
It has been our observation that those that are focused upon the lack of anything are experiencing it rather profoundly in many areas of their life experience. In other words, those that are working very hard, who are wanting more dollars, but are working hard because they're focused upon the lack of them. They do not see the dollars like the air you breathe, that all you have to do is allow it into your experience. And so those that are working very hard usually are not gaining either the dollars or the freedom that they are seeking from it. In other words, their attention to the lack is sort of backfiring in all areas of their life experience. What is abundance? How would you define it?
I've got plenty of everything.
And so, as you live in a universe that is abundant, that means all things abound. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
All things, all sides of all things, good. Positive and negative abounds. Good. Health abounds, illness abounds, prosperity abounds, poverty abounds. All of it abounds in this abundant universe where all things exist. And so as choosers or deciders or attractors, what do you do about it? Do you give your attention to the negative side of the abundance and attract that into your experience, or do you give your attention to the positive side of abundance? As you play your game of what if, do you say what if and point out the bleakest of consequences, or do you say what if and point out the most optimistic of consequences? You are the choosers regarding all of that, you see. What we are noticing regarding every topic of discussion is that as physical creatures, you get so involved in the peripheral details that are out on the edge, making so many decisions that have nothing to do with what is at the core of the attraction, you see. You are aware of the current or the electricity that surges through the walls. And when you are wanting to toast, you plug in a toaster. And when you are wanting to toast words, you plug in a recorder.
Right.
And in like manner, there is an energy that surges through the walls of your universe, and you're already plugged into it. And the way you utilize the energy is by contouring it with your thought. As you say, I seek good things. I want dollars to come to me in a very powerful and abundant fashion. And I will utilize it toward this end, and toward this end, and toward this end, and toward this end. You are taking that non-physical energy and you are connecting yourself with that energy to that which you seek, so that that which you have identified must be yours. It is law. You cannot give your attention to something without it being your experience. It is law. Now, because you live in the universe or physical where there is buffer of time, sometimes it does not come fast enough, and then you get focused upon the fact that it is not there yet. Then you turn your attention to the lack of it. And as you say, where are the dollars that I seek? that is the way you sabotage your own creation. And we see it as a sort of deliberate thing. You would not call it deliberate because it is not what you want. But you deliberately say things such as, I can't afford that. That costs too much money. You deliberately say, I don't have enough money. You deliberately say, I cannot do that because it costs too much. And with all of those sorts of statements, what you're doing is reinforcing your belief that there is not enough, which is in absolute disharmony with the previous statement we made that the universe is abundant. Now, which way is it? Is it abundant or is it a void? Is everything there or is nothing there? Which is it? Shout it out.
It's all there.
It is all there. And so if it is there, there can be no lack of what you are wanting. Would you agree? The absence of something in your experience is not because it does not exist or because it is not to be yours. It is because you are choosing to look at lack. And the abundant universe always delivers unto you that which you give your attention to. And so if you don't have enough money in your experience, if you find that there are more things that you are wanting than you have dollars for, it is for one reason and one reason only. You have developed the pattern of looking at the lack side of the equation of abundance of dollars. You have chosen, by virtue of the example around you, or by the influence that comes across your television, or by the influence of those in your family or those that are closest to you, you have been influenced to decide, and you keep reaffirming the decision with those statements, there is not enough. Now, how much sense does that make to you in light of what we've just spoken? It makes no sense at all, does it? Let us hear from you. Let us get rolling here.
What's the difference between saying that you have a negative feeling about money, and so you don't get money, and you saying, I don't want cancer, but you do get cancer? I mean, what? I can't reconcile this in my mind right now.
Here is the way that it works, and we are understanding your dilemma, but this will be very clear. You get what you think about. And so, as you are thinking about the lack of health, you are getting it. As you are thinking about the lack of dollars, you are getting it. In other words, intellectually, it is very difficult, in fact, maybe impossible in some cases, to know the difference between focusing upon what you want or the lack of it. In other words, it's the same subject. But the way you feel as you are offering your thought is the way you know whether you are attracting the positive or the negative. When you're thinking about money and it feels very good, then you are in the mode of attracting that which you are wanting. But when you are thinking about money and it feels very bad, then you are in the mode of attracting the lack of it, you see. No one ever gets sick without feeling great amount of negative emotion. And none of you who want dollars will ever feel anything less than negative emotion when you are in the process of lack. Ask your question again. State it just as you stated it the first time if you are wanting. And let's see if we can unravel it together.
When I say I want money, but don't really believe it's going to come to me.
And so you're feeling disappointed or inadequate or not smart enough or not in the right place, not lucky enough.
Yet, using my silver mind control, I go down to level, and they teach you to say, I don't want to get cancer, I don't want to get leukemia, I don't want to get this and that. And I really feel I'm not going to get it. But yet, what I'm interpreting here is that I shouldn't program myself this way by saying I don't want cancer.
We agree.
That word's right. What's the difference?
You see, the universe does not hear no. It does not hear you say, yes, I want health, and no, I do not want illness. When you are saying, no, I do not want illness, your attention to it is, yes, come unto me. Anything you are giving your attention to is an invitation of it.